Philip IV, also known as Philip the Fair, was king of France from 1285 to 1314. He was a strong and ambitious ruler who expanded the power of the French monarchy and centralized the government. Philip IV was also a shrewd businessman, and he greatly increased the wealth of the French crown. One of Philip IV's most significant achievements was the creation of the Estates General, a representative assembly of the French clergy, nobility, and commoners. The Estates General was supposed to provide advice to the king and help him to govern the country. However, Philip IV often used the Estates General to rubber stamp his own decisions. Philip IV was also a ruthless ruler. He was known for his persecution of the Knights Templar, a powerful military order that had become wealthy and independent. In 1307, Philip IV ordered the arrest of all the Knights Templar in France. He accused them of heresy and other crimes. Many of the Knights Templar were tortured and executed, and their property was seized by the French crown. Philip IV's persecution of the Knights Templar was a major scandal that shook the Catholic Church to its core. However, Philip IV was not deterred. He continued to expand the power of the French monarchy and to centralize the government. Philip IV died in 1314, leaving behind a strong and centralized kingdom. France was now the most powerful country in Europe. Here is a short story about Philip IV. The King and the Banker. Philip IV, King of France, was a shrewd businessman. He was always looking for ways to increase the wealth of the French crown. One day, Philip IV met with a banker named Jacques de Molay. De Molay was Grand Master of the Knights Templar, a powerful military order that had become wealthy and independent. Philip IV offered de Molay a deal. The Knights Templar would lend the French crown a large sum of money. In return, the French crown would protect the Knights Templar from their enemies. De Molay agreed to the deal, and the Knights Templar lent Philip IV a large sum of money. However, Philip IV had other plans. He was jealous of the Knights Templars' wealth and power. He decided to destroy them. In 1307, Philip IV ordered the arrest of all the Knights Templar in France. He accused them of heresy and other crimes. Many of the Knights Templar were tortured and executed, and their property was seized by the French crown. Jacques de Molay was one of the Knights Templar who was arrested. He was tortured and burned at the stake in 1314. Before he died, de Molay cursed Philip IV and his descendants. The curse of Jacques de Molay came to pass. Philip IV's sons all died young and without heirs. The French monarchy declined, and France eventually lost its position as the most powerful country in Europe. The story of Philip IV and the Knights Templar is a cautionary tale about the dangers of greed and power. It is also a reminder that even the most powerful rulers are not immune to the consequences of their actions.